From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
You want to go where to buy a new refrigerator? Steve's A to Z Appliance in Cottonwood? In Cottonwood? Just a 10-minute drive. And they'll save us money. New and used, honest, reliable, factory-trained repair service and parts, and they'll save us money. And dispose of this thing? We gotta make the short drive to Steve's A to Z. Thanks, son.
Steve's A to Z Appliance, front and main streets in Cottonwood. Drive a little, save a lot.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just wanted to show you some of the damage reports from the morning here. Very interesting to see. You can see in North Reading, we did see a downed tree. There was a peak gust at the Reading Airport of about 55 miles per hour, but it was a downed tree about 40 foot long it was between Union School Road and Holiday Road. So kind of interesting to see that. We did see in the valley. So there is some, of course, confirmed reports there. We take you out near Hay Fork. There was a downed tree there. Now, where you see the exclamation points are landslides or rock slides. And most of these have all been cleared out on the highways where they were. So that certainly is some good news there. But if you look here along Highway 101, through the morning, there were all kinds of downed trees blocking either partially the highway or the entire highway. Of course, since then, they've mostly been cleared out, but you can see a lot of damage, especially west of the valley. And that was expected. That was where we were expecting to see not only the heaviest amount of rainfall, but some of the strongest winds. And that certainly is what we did see here. Now, we're going to take a look at a loop from the radar here. And you can see that the main band of moisture, the heaviest rainfall that moved through last night and early this morning, that has pretty much moved on out and is off to our east. Now we're dealing with a colder and unstable atmosphere. A couple of things that I'm going to be watching here for this afternoon. Number one, scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly in the higher elevations. We're not seeing and haven't really seen a lot of activity, at least thunderstorms are concerned, for the valley. And there's a very good chance that the valley may not see much in the way of any thunderstorms, except for maybe the north end of the valley around Reading. So then I also think the coast and the north coast in general, Del Norte, Humboldt counties, will see some thunderstorms, as well as Trinity County, Siskiyou County, and really all of the mountains, as I mentioned here. So let's take a look at what's going on here. There you can, of course, see the activity that we are seeing. Showers, really not a lot of lightning strikes. Most of the lightning strikes are in northern Shasta County and in parts of Modoc County, southeastern Siskiyou County as well, but not much in the way of thunderstorm activity for the coast. That, of course, could change here as we take you through the afternoon. But I also want to show you what the winds are doing. We've got a strong south wind coming in from the southeast, working its way northwest. What happens is we tend to get these what we call convergence lines, and you can clearly see where the winds butt up against the mountains. That forces that air up, and that's when we start to see showers and thunderstorms begin to develop. Now you can see the line that's developing here to the north and west of Reading. We may see it develop around Reading or to the north and east of Reading. So we're probably going to see this line take shape at certain times during the day, sometimes more intense than others. And this is why I do expect to see a chance for some thunderstorms for the north end of the valley. City of Shasta Lake, Old Shasta, Palisadro, Reading, maybe as far south as Anderson. But the farther south you go into the valley, I think the slimmer the chances. But still, we can't rule out a stray shower or thunderstorm for parts of the valley as we do go through the afternoon today. So just something to take into account here. So I do expect this cool and unstable weather pattern behind the cold front that we're seeing here for today. That's the story for today. Cold and unsettled. We've got thunderstorms which are capable of producing heavy rainfall, gusty winds, and some large hail. And on top of that, lightning strikes. And we've already seen at least the lightning strikes and the gusty winds and even some heavy rain. Now, there still is going to be some concerns of flooding here and mudslides and debris flows. We've already seen a lot of rock slides here in many areas, but we still could see that here through the afternoon, especially for areas that do see some of the heavier downpours. Now, there is more rain on Thursday, just not as intense, and I do expect quieter and quieter conditions here, drier, warmer as we go into Friday, and in particular for the weekend. So here's your neighborhood forecast for the rest of the day today. Now, it looks really ominous for the valley, doesn't it? That's mainly depicting what we're going to see for the north end of the valley potentially. Otherwise, you're looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies, stray showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm. But I do think there will be thunderstorms everywhere else. The mountains, the north coast, and even I think the eastern mountains could see a straight thunderstorm as well. So there's the cold front moving through. Now you see that brown dashed line, that's called a trough. That's going to really help to enhance some of the cold and unstable air that we have, and that's going to really also help to destabilize the atmosphere. So that's what we have in store for us. As that moves closer, the chances for thunderstorms will start to increase for the coast, and then the mountains, and then maybe the valley. And then you can see a little swath of moisture off to our west. That's what we've got our eyes on. That's going to be moving in on Thursday, and Thursday afternoon in particular is when I think most everyone will see some of that rain. And then high pressure settles in for Friday through the weekend, early next week, and eventually an area of low pressure will develop to our south and west. That may have an impact on our weather, and by around Wednesday, Thursday of next week, we're talking about another chance for some showers. This is the Storm Prediction Center's severe weather outlook. The lighter shades of green is just kind of a general area where we have the chance for thunderstorms. You'll notice it's pretty much everywhere. Now that does include the valley, but as I mentioned, most of it will be in the mountains and along the coast. Now you'll also see a darker shade of green. That's category 1 of 5. So it's the smallest and weakest category, but it still has the potential to bring us the potential for some strong to even severe thunderstorms. And we're also not ruling out the potential for maybe a little spin up, say some water spouts out over the ocean. Now that's not uncommon. And it's not uncommon for some of those water spouts to make landfall as well. But keep in mind, typically, when we see these water spouts over the ocean around here, when they make landfall, number one, they tend to be very weak initially. And then number two, they also tend to not last very long. So I'm not terribly concerned about that at this point, but it is something we'll be watching here for the rest of the afternoon and this evening. Now, I'm pulling out the HRRR forecast model because I do think it's doing a slightly better depiction on what we do expect to see here for the coast through the afternoon. I think we're going to be looking at isolated showers and thunderstorms for all of the mountains. Now again, I've included the winds in there. You see that line near Redding. That is that convergence line I was talking about, and that is going to kind of shift north and south here throughout the day. But you can see even at 5 o'clock, we still have at least some of the signatures of that convergence line. And notice to the west, Trinity County, even parts of Del Norte and Humboldt County, Siskiyou, the mountains, all the mountains, also seeing that potential for thunderstorms. But look at the valley. There's just not much going on there, is there? Now we go into 7 o'clock this evening, still looking at the potential for a convergence line around the Redding area working its way northeastward into Modoc County. But still maybe some light activity here for parts of Del Norte, Humboldt, and Trinity counties. Then we go into midnight tonight. It's becoming less in the way of showers and thunderstorms, and things are starting to kind of quiet down. All right, now let's transition to our in-house forecast model, and there you can see the quiet conditions by midnight tonight. Now, tomorrow morning, we're seeing a bit of a break. By midday, that next swath of moisture I was talking about, that moves in. By midday, you got the showers. That will progress eastward. Now, the models have really been trending towards keeping a lot of it to the north. So places like Redding through the afternoon, I think, may see some light showers. A slimmer chance for really most of the day south of that. But I do think that eventually we'll see that shift a little bit to the south. Chico and everybody else seeing some showers possibly by Thursday night. Then on Friday, look at this. We're going to be trending towards drier conditions. In fact, we're going to see those skies begin to clear, and that will, of course, go into the weekend as well. All right, here's some of the peak wind gusts. And you can see here, these are some of the strongest wind gusts that we've seen here in the last 24 hours. 55 miles per hour at the Redding Airport, 60 in Wairika, 55 for Crescent City. Now, there were some higher mountain ridge tops. I did see some reports of 60, 70, over 70 miles per hour for some of those mountain ridge tops. But overall here, you can see these are the types of winds that can create the damage that we did see overnight last night and early this morning. But the good news is we are seeing a downward trend with these winds. Still gusty through the afternoon, no doubt about it. But those winds will be subsiding as we go into this evening. Now tomorrow, still a little breezy to the north and west, but the overall trend is weaker winds tomorrow and significantly weaker winds by the time we get into Friday. Certainly some good news there. So for today, again, looks ominous for the valley, doesn't it? Chance for showers, chance for thunderstorms, but the better chances I think will be in the mountains and for the coast today. Now for tonight, still that chance. And, places like Chico and parts of the valley could still see some activity here in the evening hours. But again, I think the best chances will be in the higher elevations. So looking at your 7-day forecast for the valley. For Redding, I've got your showers on Thursday as well as Red Bluff. You're going to have to wait until probably the evening overnight for Chico to see any showers on Thursday. So mostly dry on Thursday for you, Chico. Then on Friday, we're dry. We're dry and warmer for the weekend and early next week. For the coasts, Thursday, showers pretty much most of the day. The morning hours should be dry, but then mid to late morning hours, the showers kick in, and they last pretty much through the day, drying out by Friday and through the weekend. Siskiyou County, probably around midday, you'll see the showers. Alturas, probably mid-afternoon. And for places like Susanville, Eastern Mountains, probably evening hours for Thursday. Friday, we're dry, though, and dry and warmer for the weekend, and that continues into Monday, Tuesday of next week. Again, some of the long-range forecast models are now indicating that Wednesday, Thursday of next week, a chance for showers. But let's worry about that later and enjoy this beautiful weather heading our way for Friday and through the weekend. All right, that's a quick look at your afternoon update. I'll be back again this evening at 6 o'clock for a more detailed look and your deeper dive forecast at 6 o'clock. Have yourselves a great rest of your afternoon.
When you see flashing lights, someone's life depends on us.
And while we're out helping crash victims, we need your help to keep us safe.
Move over, slow down, it's the law, it protects everyone.
Our crews are out here every day, keeping the roads safe for you and your family.
We're often the last ones on scene, and we want to make it home safe too.
Protect those who protect you, slow down and move over.